Well, looks like the EU is doing bad, and the Italian mafia is doing great. There's a new report out, and to be expected. You know, usually when people get poor, somebody else is getting really wealthy. You know what I mean? Actually, if you look at, this was the big joke I used to say. Well, with the 1%, it ain't the 1% making the money. It's the 1 basis point. It's the 100th of 1%. It's even less than that. Anyway, this is a report by, I can't even say this damn thing. It's Demoscopia Research Institute in Rome. Said that the annual turnover of the, I can't even say this name either, I'm American, man. I ain't Italian anymore, right? That was history, okay? The Ranghati organized crime syndicate was around 53 billion euros. That's the equivalent of about 2.5% of Italy's entire gross domestic product. So one family makes all that money. Actually, they got more money than McDonald's and Deutsche Bank put together. Not too bad, huh? So, when the economy's doing bad, it doesn't really mean the economy's doing bad. Somebody's making money someplace. This is even going on in real estate. In the United States, real estate was going bad. Here they had to collapse in real estate. Smart people that were realtors and investors, they went down to South America, and there was big booms down there going on at the same time everything collapsed over here. And China collapsed, but it was going strong for a little longer than over here too. And Canada was going a little bit stronger. And then they got recovered. Well, I don't want to get on with that. They have recoveries in California, except the Chinese buyers. But there's always something. If something's collapsing someplace, somebody's making a lot of money. That's usually what happens. In other words, there's a cash crunch. People are forced to sell and all this kind of stuff. Somebody's making money. And basically the mafia lends money is one of the things they do. And, it's because the banks are tightening up. Money is actually coming for business from the mafia, the Italian mafia. And basically it's traditional money spinners, includes drug dealing, illegal garbage disposal, like, they used to take up to have a farm up there in Connecticut, like you got hazardous waste disposal in New Jersey. You drive up to Connecticut and you dump it out in the land someplace. That was one of the things they used to do. Extortion, embezzlement, arms sales, prostitution, people smuggling, and all that other wonderful stuff. So, but there's gambling too. They left out gambling. What about the Meadowlands? Anyway, I don't want to get into specific names on anything, but I don't know that much, but I could tell you a couple. Actually, there's a video out there I did a while ago. I don't know, it wasn't too exciting, I guess, but, if I mention Rothschild, man, it's like, ooh! I put out, I titled it Shadows of the Elite. That's what I called it, Shadows of the Elite. I don't know, it's got a few hundred hits on it, but I was kind of referencing something that was I think it was a 1.4 trillion with a T deal that was attempted. So there's stuff that's going on. This study group knows some. I don't know everything. I heard stuff. Anyway, claims basically it looks like they only invest 10% of their money in Italy, though. But I'll tell you one thing: they do. Mafia invest a lot of money in the United States. They do. In construction. If you actually took the GDP centers of the United States and you just put it, I know everybody, I know, I got a lot of respect for Southerners. I got respect for people out in the Midwest. I got respect for people up in the Rocky Mountains. And I know, they put you down if you're from the Northeast and all this bad, all this kind of shit. But, if you take the GDP of the United States, there's not that many areas that are like the real powerhouses. And, one of the really, really big powerhouse GDP in the United States that's really concentrated in a really, really small area is in the New York, New Jersey metropolitan area. I know if you're from New York City, New Jersey's like the sticks, no matter where the hell you are from New Jersey. I know that crap if you're over there, but it all looks like one big city, to tell you the truth, except when you get into the city per se, Manhattan, whatever, but, the business area. But it's really, the GDP in the United States, a big part of it is over there, and I'll state this, everybody knows it, I guess. When they're saying that only 10% of the money actually goes back in Italy, a lot of it goes into the USA. USA is the new Rome. It is. So, a lot of times things look like they're bad and they're not bad. During the most depressing times going, sometimes the biggest projects get started and thousands of people, some people that it's, maybe not everybody in the world, but there'll be people that are being employed, thousands of people in big major construction projects or whatever, due to mafia money. So, that's just how it goes, man. So, and, unlike what Gerald Celente talks about, because, they always talk about the banksters being a mafia, they always talk about, Obama being a mafia or something. No, they're not. None of them are. But I found this very interesting that the latest estimate of mob income is up 42% from 2012 to 2013. So they're making a hell of a lot more money. As Europe is going down, the mafia is making way more money. So, and actually Vladimir Putin knows a lot about this stuff, because I read some articles that he kind of let things slip when he was talking to Berlusconi about, the inner dealings in Italy and stuff like that. But basically, there is no religious borders, no political borders when it comes to money. Nobody gives a shit. They just want their money. That's all there is, that's all there is. But actually, it's very interesting that this new study has stated that the mafia, in Italian, the mafia, is actually doing exponentially better. They're estimating 42% higher income from 2012 to 2013. I don't know how they're estimating this, but I know there's a lot of things that go on in the financial world that are not publicized, like in Forbes or in Financial Times or the Wall Street Journal. And there's a lot of private placement platform type deals going on. There's a lot of banks that are out there that are basically only for private customers, and are not for public customers, and they're like they don't even have a brick front, to facilitate transactions and all kinds of shit. Stuff I don't even understand, man. I just had a little bit of exposure to, but there's a lot of weird shit out there. But I found this article very interesting. I'm not going to reference the article. I'm just kind of really talking about it. But, they're saying that the mafia is actually doing far, far better. And despite what's going on in Europe. And I suspected this. Because no matter what happens, it seems that, if one area is not making money, somebody else is making a shitload of money. And, if you're looking at the 1%, the 1% in this country aren't really making much more money. They're not even making any more money. Actually, if you go from 1% up to the 99% of the 1%, none of those guys are making that much. They're making shit. They're making the same thing they always made. It might be a lot to you or me, but they're not making a lot of money. It's the 1 basis point or less where all the money's going to. Where everybody's getting broke, somebody's making money someplace. But, the one thing I always had with, they do a lot of, if you look at every freaking construction project out there, I don't want to say too much about this, but just about every single major construction project out there, I don't want to say the specific ones, but famous ones, big ones, New Jersey, New York area, there's always been ties to supposed so-called organized crime, but you know what? They're building stuff. They're making stuff. And the GDP for those areas of the country, that area of the country actually is pulling way more of its weight than you think for GDP. If you took out the Northeast, New York, New Jersey metropolitan area, and you just took that out of the United States, you'd be taking out a major slice of the GDP in the United States, and a lot of that power is actually coming from the mafia. The mafia, whatever you want to call it. But in this article, they kind of say it's illegal rubbish disposal, extortion. There's a lot of construction and stuff going on, though. There's actual hard goods that are being produced. Roadways, tunnels, I know there's gambling and stuff like that. Gambling's like better than the New Jersey lottery. That's what's going on in New Jersey. Just ad lib. There's a lot of competition now for New Jersey because it's in Philadelphia, it's in New York, actually in Atlantic City, which was doing really good for a while. There's only one place, and that's where it's like families over there still that's making money. That's the one. There's only one hotel over there that's actually still making money. It's in the black in Atlantic City. For somebody who asking me where I have my silver, I'm gonna tell you, I ain't stupid. I don't put it in the bank. I don't keep it in my domicile. I actually have it with the firm. Which is it's a prestigious building downtown, and it's got 24-hour surveillance, guards, and cameras all over the freaking roof, and it's all over the place, and it's also connected with a boutique investment firm too. So that's what I do. In other words, it's like, and I'm there all the time, so, I know what's going on, It's my own, in other words, it's private. It's not like you put in a safe deposit box in a bank. It's a hell of a lot safer than that, man. A hell of a lot safer. That's what I do. So, but if you want to look at something, I don't even know what the hell I said. It was a while ago. It was probably a couple years ago. I put a video out on Shadows of the Elite. It was basically referencing an attempted $1.4 trillion deal. There's a lot of cool stuff, and it wasn't anything that, it was somebody I knew, basically. That has a lot of contacts with people and stuff. And that didn't work out, but there's, despite what the economic numbers are printed by the government or whatever the hell there is, there's always these ultra wealthy people that make things move. And it's like, if there's a whole bunch of people getting a lot more poor, there's somebody making money. Somebody is. And it's not, like I said, it ain't the 1%. It's like the 1 basis point or even less. Like in Russia, it's really skewed. They got 110 people approximately. Actually, I can tell you the deal is with Russia, it's pretty simple. And, there's so many freaking idiots that are freaking Putin worshippers. They're morons and a half. But basically, that guy is a front for the organization. The organization is the state itself. And he makes sure that their coffers are filled plus his. He might not be the richest guy in Russia. Maybe these guys in there are probably more wealthy than him. I've seen stuff where they had tons and tons of Caesium-133 isotope and stuff like this, and where it made gold look like dirt. I didn't see it. It was in a, it's guarded by the Red Army or some shit, to safe. But the politically connected are the state themselves. And it's weird. Like, you can have a Jewish guy and a Muslim guy dealing with each other, and there's no religion, man. Just money. That's all there is, man. And it's not something that's basically that you read in the Financial Times. The stuff that goes on, there's major deals that go on that are, and these guys are, I don't want to comment. There's like, I put out something. I said there's a story a couple times. There was a Korean guy that supposedly he had to come up with €1 billion, and he comes up with a fake CD. I'm not sure if it has a QSIP number on it or some kind of number on it. I don't know if it's like on the same as a stock certificate, but they looked up the number and the guy actually came up with a fake one. So you're thinking this guy didn't have the money, and he came up with a real one. It was in Hong Kong. It was €1 billion or something. €1 billion. And his name's not on Forbes anywhere. I mean, I can't just blab every damn thing I know out here, but there's a lot of crazy shit out there that goes on. And I don't know, like, the whole deal, because nobody knows the whole deal of what's going on with anything. People only know pieces of stuff, and I don't even want to say any names or nothing. But, it's like, the more poor people or somebody, you get more and more poor people, somebody's making money. Somebody's making money. But the one thing I have to say with the Italian mafia, though, is it's my personal opinion. They invest a lot more in the United States than you'd think. A lot of the biggest construction projects in the New Jersey, New York area, and business, and why it's thriving so much. I know there's a lot of people moving out of the area because of socialistic tendencies in politics and stuff, but that's not coming from the Italian mafia. That's coming from freaking some other bullshit, but communist or some crap, you know what I mean? But it's very interesting that the Italian mafia, supposedly, the latest estimate is they're up 42% in income from 2012 to 2013, while Europe is going down in smoke. So, it's like these are the guys that are doing stuff behind the scenes, making things happen. And why the revenue's up? I'll just put it in plain language. They're not following rules. There's no red tape. Just get it done. Just get it done. If they find something where they're gonna have a resort someplace or whatever the hell it is, and we're gonna have all this stuff on there, and it's gonna be whatever, a health resort and all this kind of garbage or whatever. And, it's zoned against this and that. They'll find a way to get it rezoned for them or whatever, They'll make something happen. Like, I don't know that much about this kind of shit, but I mean, I know a little bit here and there. But it's like, that's probably why they're making the money. They're making the money because they go around the red tape. And if you really want to know why the economy's freaking doing like shit, it's because of all the bureaucracy and all the red tape. That's what's going on. That's what's killing everything. Because, there might be a lot of lazy-ass people out there. Maybe they don't want to do shit. But of the people that do want to do stuff, produce and make a lot of money, governmental red tape is slowing it down. But, fortunately, there's always an Italian mafia to freaking straighten it out, right? And like I said, they're only reinvested 10% in Italy. It's my opinion, and a lot of it actually goes up to the New Jersey, New York area. And, despite what the numbers say, there's a lot more money floating around there than you think. And, well, I don't want to say too much. Like, there's people that you might call mafia do some things that you just wouldn't believe, man. Like I remember this one, I don't want to say too much about it, but it was like, the kid graduated, he beat cancer, he graduated with honors, he had cancer when he was some kind of leukemia or something, and they gave him a car. Brand new nice car. As a gift. Because he was an honor student, he beat cancer. I mean, they do shit like that. It's kind of weird. Anyway, I just want to point this out. Europe's going down. They're making less money. Italian mafia's making 42% more from last year. So how's that?